A lot of people assume that losing sharp vision is just part of getting older, something you're supposed to accept quietly and move on from. You wake up in the morning, and everything looks like you're staring through a foggy windshield. You hold your phone further and further away just to read a text message. Or you're sitting in a restaurant, squinting at the menu under low lighting, pretending you can read it just fine because you don't want to make a scene. But here's what most people don't realize, and honestly, what most doctors don't take the time to sit down and explain. That's not just aging, that's damage, and a significant portion of it is preventable. The American Academy of Ophthalmology is clear about this. After the age of 55, your eyes enter a phase of accelerated vulnerability. The structures inside your eye, the lens, the macula, the retina, begin losing their natural resilience faster than at any earlier point in your life. And conditions like dry eye syndrome, early cataracts, macular degeneration, and age-related retinal thinning don't announce themselves. They build quietly, over months and years, until one day you notice something is genuinely wrong. And here's the part that almost nobody talks about. The most critical window for eye repair isn't during the day. It's at night. While you sleep, your retina, that thin, light-sensitive tissue lining the back of your eye, is supposed to be regenerating. Damaged photoreceptor cells, the cells responsible for color, detail, and clarity, are supposed to be repaired. But for that process to work, your retina needs specific nutrients, specific antioxidants. And if those aren't there, the repair work either slows down or simply doesn't happen at the level it should. So here's the question I get asked almost every single week in my practice. Is there anything I can actually do naturally, without another prescription, without booking a surgical consult to protect what I still have? And the honest answer is yes. But most people are going about it completely wrong. The standard recommendations, eye drops for dryness, stronger prescriptions every 2 years, blue light glasses, they manage symptoms. They don't address what's actually driving the deterioration. And that's exactly why vision problems among adults over 60 keep getting worse despite the billions of dollars spent on eye care every single year. A landmark study published in Investigative Ophthalmology and Visual Science confirmed what researchers had been observing for over a decade. Age-related retinal damage is driven by 3 underlying processes: oxidative stress accumulating in photoreceptor cells, chronic low-grade inflammation inside the eye, and impaired recirculation, meaning the tiny capillaries that carry oxygen and nutrients to your retina are either narrowing or losing their ability to dilate when your body needs them most. And all 3 of these processes are most active at night. But here's where it gets genuinely interesting. More recent nutritional research has identified something that most people, even most doctors, are not yet discussing in the clinic. Certain fruits, ones you can buy at any grocery store, contain natural compounds that your retinal tissue is literally designed to use during overnight repair. These aren't supplements. They're not extracts. They're foods, and when eaten at the right time, in the right way, the research suggests they can support photoreceptor regeneration, improve blood flow to the retina, calm intraocular inflammation, and in some cases, measurably slow the progression of age-related vision decline. And the number 1 fruit on this list, the one that surprises almost everyone, addresses one of the most destructive and least talked about processes behind cloudy vision and early cataract formation. A process that is happening silently in the majority of adults over 55, right now without any warning signs at all. My name is Dr. Caleb Mercer. I've spent years working with older adults who are serious about protecting their vision using evidence-informed nutritional approaches alongside conventional care. Today I'm going to walk you through 7 fruits that research suggests can genuinely support your eye's overnight repair process, and exactly how to use them the right way so that your body can actually absorb what it needs. Before we dive in, I want to ask you something. Drop your city or your country in the comments below. We're building a real community here, people who refuse to accept vision loss as something inevitable, people who want real information rather than vague reassurances. I read every single comment. I mean that. And one thing I need to say before we go any further, because your eye health is genuinely important to me. Everything I share in this video is educational. It is not a substitute for professional medical advice. If you are experiencing vision changes, sudden blurring, floaters, or any concerns about your eye health, please see a licensed eye care professional before making changes to your diet or lifestyle. Your eye's not something to experiment with blindly. Now let's get into it. Number 7 is kiwi. Small, easy to overlook, probably not the first thing you reach for. But for aging eyes, kiwi has a research profile that most people would find genuinely surprising. Here's what's actually happening inside your eye as you age. The retina, the layer of tissue at the back of your eye that converts incoming light into signals your brain can interpret, becomes increasingly vulnerable to oxidative stress. The photoreceptor cells that handle fine detail, color recognition, and adaptation to changing light begin to wear down. And most people don't notice it happening in real time. They just slowly start squinting at road signs. Or headlights at night start looking like starbursts. Or they wake up every morning and their vision takes 30-45 minutes to fully sharpen. That's not just age. That's cellular breakdown that's been accumulating for years. Kiwi contains two nutrients that eye researchers keep returning to in the literature: lutein and zeaxanthin. These are carotenoid antioxidants that concentrate specifically inside the retina, where they function as natural internal filters. They absorb damaging blue light. They neutralize free radicals before they can destroy photoreceptor cells. And they do this work most actively during the eye's overnight repair window. Beyond that, kiwi contains a unique combination of antioxidants alongside a small amount of natural serotonin, which supports deeper, more restorative sleep. And deep sleep is when your eyes do their most important regeneration work. The two benefits compound each other. A study published in the Asia-Pacific Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that older adults who consumed 2 golden kiwis daily over an 8-week period showed measurable improvements in visual sharpness alongside reduced morning eye dryness and redness. 2 pieces of fruit, measurable results in under 2 months. How do you use it? 2 golden kiwis, not the green variety, eaten about an hour before bed. Golden kiwis carry higher lutein concentrations, produce less acid, and are easier on the stomach at night, which matters for sleep quality. And here's a detail most people miss entirely. Don't scoop all the way to the edge. That thin inner layer of flesh just beneath where the skin meets the fruit contains concentrated caffeic acid, a potent antioxidant. Scoop it gently and leave that border intact. You'll get more benefit from the same piece of fruit. Number 6 is watermelon. And if you've ever wondered why your vision still feels blurry or heavy an hour after waking up, even after a full night of sleep, this one is worth paying close attention to. As we age, 2 things happen inside the eye that most people don't connect to their morning vision fog. First, tear production slows and the eye surface dries out overnight. Second, blood flow to the retina gradually diminishes. And reduced circulation means less oxygen, less nutrient delivery, and slower cellular repair during exactly the hours your eyes should be recovering. Watermelon is over 90% water, so hydration is an obvious benefit. But the research points to something deeper than that. Watermelon is one of the richest dietary sources of lycopene, a powerful carotenoid antioxidant that has been linked in multiple observational studies to reduced oxidative damage in retinal tissue and protect effects against cataracts and macular degeneration. Research has also shown that regular watermelon consumption is associated with higher circulating levels of lutein and zeaxanthin, and certain compounds in watermelon support nitric oxide production, which improves the flexibility and dilation of blood vessels, including the tiny capillaries supplying your retina during sleep. 1 to 2 cups of chilled seedless watermelon about 30 minutes before bed. Skip any added salt. Excess sodium raises intraocular pressure, which research consistently identifies as a significant and potentially irreversible risk factor for glaucoma and other forms of vision damage. Pro tip: don't throw away the white rind. That pale section just inside the skin contains citrulline, an amino acid that supports healthy blood vessel function. Blend it into a smoothie or eat a small amount alongside the flesh. Most people discard it without knowing what they're leaving behind. Number 5 is black currants. Tiny, deep purple. Most Americans have never bought them. But for protecting your vision in low-light conditions, black currants are frankly one of the more remarkable things you can eat. Here's the specific problem they address: retinal microinflammation and impaired blood flow to the optic nerve. This is the mechanism behind those halos you see around headlights at night. The increasing difficulty adjusting when you walk from a bright room into a dim hallway. The progressive eye strain that builds through the day even when you haven't been staring at a screen. A stronger prescription simply cannot fix any of that because it's not a focusing problem. It's a tissue problem. What makes black currants exceptional is their anthocyanin density. Anthocyanins are the deep blue-purple pigments responsible for the fruit's color. And inside the eye, they work on several levels simultaneously. They reduce inflammatory signaling in retinal tissue. They support blood vessel dilation, improving circulation to the optic nerve. And critically, they help restore rhodopsin, the visual pigment your rod cells use to adapt from bright light to darkness. The clinical evidence here is more rigorous than for most dietary interventions. A randomized, placebo-controlled trial involving glaucoma patients found that 50 milligrams of blackcurrant anthocyanins daily over 24 months significantly improved blood flow to the optic nerve and retinal tissues, and meaningfully slowed visual field loss compared to placebo. That is not a small or insignificant finding. A separate stout study in normal tension glaucoma patients found that black currant anthocyanins increased retinal blood flow without affecting eye pressure and helped normalize endothelin levels, a compound involved in blood vessel constriction. This points to real neuroprotective potential, even in people without a diagnosed eye condition. Fresh black currants are difficult to find in most grocery stores. Look for a standardized blackcurrant anthocyanin extract, around 50 milligrams, taken in the evening. Pair it with a small amount of healthy fat, a few walnuts, or a slice of avocado, and a vitamin C source like a piece of orange. Absorption of these compounds improves meaningfully with fat and vitamin C present. That combination is not incidental. The nutrient synergy is well documented. Number 4 is blueberries. And here's the part that surprises almost everyone who thinks they're already doing this right. Most people eat blueberries in a way that cancels out a significant portion of their eye protective benefit. What do blueberries target? Oxidative damage in your photoreceptors, those specialized retinal cells that handle fine detail, contrast, color differentiation, and light adaptation. Years of UV exposure, years of accumulated oxidative stress, and your natural antioxidant defenses gradually thin. Then slowly, almost imperceptibly, you start squinting at text on a page. You ask someone to repeat themselves because you missed their facial expression. You find yourself leaning closer to the screen even when the font is large enough. The key compound in blueberries is pterostilbene, a molecule chemically related to resveratrol but significantly more bioavailable. Research suggests it can cross the blood-retinal barrier and act directly on DNA damage in light-sensitive cells. That's a meaningful distinction from most dietary antioxidants that never actually reach the tissue they're supposed to protect. A 2023 study published in Nutritional Neuroscience found that older adults who consumed wild blueberries daily for 12 weeks showed notable improvements in visual acuity and reported significantly less eye strain during extended screen use in low light. 12 weeks, with a fruit that costs a few dollars at any grocery store. But here's the critical detail most people get completely wrong. Not all blueberries are equal. The large, shiny cultivated varieties most commonly sold fresh in supermarkets have measurably lower antioxidant density. Wild blueberries, the small, dark, less glamorous ones typically found in the frozen section, carry nearly double the concentration of active compounds. And frozen is just as effective as fresh, in some cases more so. About a third of a cup of wild blueberries 45 minutes before bed. And the pro tip that changes everything: do not eat them with dairy. The proteins in milk physically bind to anthocyanins and block gut absorption. Instead, lightly freeze and then thaw your blueberries before eating them. That process breaks down cell walls and dramatically increases the bioavailability of the antioxidants. Same fruit, dramatically more benefit reaching your retina overnight. Number 3 is dragon fruit, specifically the deep red-fleshed variety. And if you regularly wake up with tired, heavy eyes even after sleeping a full 7 or 8 hours, this one is directly relevant to what you're experiencing. The specific problem red dragon fruit addresses is retinal hypoxia. That's when retinal tissue isn't receiving adequate oxygen during sleep. When circulation to the eye is compromised during the overnight repair window, you can sleep a full night and still wake up with eyes that feel like they've barely rested. Peripheral vision starts to soften. Colors look slightly flatter than they used to, and over time, if that chronic low-level oxygen deficit continues, the cumulative cellular damage becomes significant. Red dragon fruit is rich in betalains, a class of antioxidants that research has shown can support nitric oxide production in blood vessel walls. Nitric oxide relaxes and widens capillaries, including the extremely fine ones supplying your retina. Wider capillaries mean better oxygen delivery, more nutrient transfer, and more effective tissue repair during deep sleep. A 2022 study published in Frontiers in Aging Biology reported that participants consuming red dragon fruit extract over 6 weeks showed meaningful improvements in ocular circulation, contrast sensitivity, and visual field depth. In practical terms, clearer vision in low light and noticeably reduced blurry vision episodes. Half a red-fleshed dragon fruit about an hour before bed. And here's the detail almost nobody knows. Don't swallow the small black seeds whole. Chew them. Those seeds contain omega-3 fatty acids and magnesium, both of which play well-documented roles in retinal nerve health and nighttime repair. Swallowed whole, you lose nearly all of that benefit. Chewed, you access it. Number 2 is goji berries. Bright red, slightly sweet, 2,000 years of documented use in traditional Chinese medicine, specifically for the eyes. And the modern clinical research is now beginning to validate what practitioners observed empirically for centuries. Here is the exact problem goji berries target: macular thinning. The macula is the small central zone of your retina responsible for the sharp, high-definition vision you use to read, recognize faces, see fine print, and distinguish color with precision. Age-related macular degeneration, one of the leading causes of irreversible vision loss in adults worldwide, begins with the gradual degradation of this tissue. Oxidative damage, reduced circulation, slow, silent, progressive. What makes goji berries exceptional is their zeaxanthin content. Goji berries are among the highest natural dietary sources of zeaxanthin on the planet. While lutein tends to protect the outer retinal layers more broadly, zeaxanthin concentrates specifically in the macula. That targeted accumulation at your center of vision is exactly what makes goji berries different from other antioxidant-rich foods. The clinical research here is genuinely compelling. A 2021 study published in Nutrients followed adults aged 65 to 80 who consumed dried goji berries 5 days a week for 90 days. Results showed a significant increase in macular pigment optical density, which is a direct measurable indicator of macular protection. And not one participant in the study showed further progression of macular degeneration during the trial period. For anyone concerned about losing visual independence, that outcome deserves serious attention. 2 tablespoons of dried goji berries, soaked in warm water for 10 minutes, eaten about 30 minutes before bed. Soaking improves digestibility and softens the texture, which matters for older digestive systems. The pro tip with real science behind it: pair your soaked goji berries with a small square of dark chocolate, at least 85% cacao. The flavonoids in dark chocolate have been shown to enhance the absorption of zeaxanthin. The two compounds together create a bioavailability synergy your macula can directly use. And number 1, the fruit at the top of this entire list, is papaya. Not exotic, not expensive, possibly sitting on your kitchen counter right now. But when eaten correctly, papaya targets one of the most destructive and most overlooked processes behind cloudy lenses, blurry vision, and early cataract formation. A process that most doctors never mention. A process that is happening silently in the majority of adults over 55. That process is called glycation. Glycation is what happens when excess blood glucose binds to proteins in your eye tissue. Over time, this forms compounds called advanced glycation end products, or AGGs, that progressively cloud the crystalline lens, degrade the retina, and compromise the structural integrity of the tiny blood vessels supplying your eye. Glycation is one of the most underappreciated drivers of age-related vision deterioration, and it doesn't require diabetic blood sugar levels to do real damage. It's happening at ordinary levels, continuously, in most people over the age of 55. Papaya is rich in papain, a naturally occurring enzyme with documented anti-inflammatory and protein-modifying properties that research suggests can interfere with glycation processes in ocular tissue. It also delivers a powerful combination of vitamins A, C, and E alongside folate, nutrients that research consistently links to tear film stability, retinal protection, and reduced oxidative stress inside the eye. A 2023 study published in Clinical Gerontology found that older adults who consumed papaya in the evening showed measurably lower glycation markers at follow-up testing, alongside stronger tear production and meaningful improvements in contrast vision within 6 weeks. For people dealing with dry eyes, blurry morning vision, or early-stage cataract symptoms, those are outcomes worth understanding. 1 cup of ripe papaya cubes about an hour before bed. 2 things matter here, and both are non-negotiable: fresh over processed, and room temperature over cold. Take your papaya out of the refrigerator at least 30 to 60 minutes before eating it. Cold temperatures suppress papain enzyme activity. You want that enzyme at full biological strength when it reaches your digestive system. Don't eat it with dairy, for the same absorption-blocking reason we discussed with blueberries. And squeeze fresh lime juice over it before eating. The vitamin C in lime meaningfully enhances your body's uptake of vitamin A. Your retina gets more of what it needs, and honestly, it tastes considerably better that way too. Now, before we close, there are 5 rules I need you to hear, because without these, you could eat every fruit on this list and still leave most of the benefit on the table. Rule 1. Do not combine with high-calcium foods. If you eat your papaya or blueberries shortly after milk, yogurt, or a calcium-fortified food, you are actively suppressing your body's absorption of lutein and zeaxanthin. Research shows that high-calcium meals consumed close to antioxidant-rich fruits can reduce absorption of key eye nutrients by up to 30%. Give yourself at least 90 minutes between any dairy and your evening fruit. Treat it as a standalone snack, not the tail end of a larger meal. Rule 2. Always add a small amount of healthy fat. The key nutrients in these fruits are fat-soluble. Your gut cannot fully absorb them without fat present. A few walnuts, a teaspoon of flaxseed oil, or a few slices of avocado alongside your evening fruit can improve nutrient absorption by more than 50%, according to published research. Same food. Dramatically better delivery to your retina. Rule 3. Wash gently. This surprises people. Aggressive scrubbing under hard running water removes a significant portion of surface antioxidants, particularly on blueberries and black currants, where the most protective compounds are concentrated in and near the skin. Rinse gently under cool water, pat dry, and wash right before eating, not hours in advance. Rule 4. Room temperature over cold. Refrigeration suppresses enzyme activity in several of these fruits, most notably papain and papaya. Below a certain temperature threshold, these enzymes become functionally inactive. Take your fruit out 30 to 60 minutes before eating. Let it return to room temperature so your body can extract the maximum benefit. Rule 5. Timing is everything. Eat your fruit 60 to 90 minutes before bed. Too early and the nutrients are metabolized and cleared before your eyes enter their deepest repair window. Too late and active digestion disrupts the slow-wave sleep your retina needs to actually do the regenerative work. Hit that window consistently, and you are giving these compounds the best possible chance to reach the tissue that needs them most. So let's bring this together. Blurry vision, tired eyes, night vision that has quietly gotten worse over the years. These are not simply the inevitable consequences of getting older. They are often the result of specific, identifiable, and in many cases addressable processes happening inside your eye tissue. Oxidative stress, chronic low-grade inflammation, impaired microcirculation, glycation, and growing evidence suggests that certain fruits, eaten at the right time and in the right way, can meaningfully support what your eyes are trying to do every single night while you sleep. Think about reading a book without squinting, driving at night without that low-level anxiety, waking up in the morning and actually seeing clearly within the first few minutes, looking at the people you love and seeing every detail. That's what this is really about. Not just sharper vision, your independence, your confidence, your quality of life. I want to hear from you now. If your eyesight became noticeably clearer tomorrow morning, what's the first thing you'd want to look at? Your family? A sunrise? Something you've been struggling to see clearly for a while now? Tell me in the comments. I read every single one. If this was helpful, hit the like button and subscribe for more evidence-informed approaches protecting your vision and your health as you age. And share this with someone over 60 in your life. You might genuinely make a difference for them. This is Dr. Caleb Mercer. Take care of your eyes. They are irreplaceable.